What do you want? That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Wow.
Okay.
All right, it's 7:33, but before we begin, if I can indulge you for 1 minute, could we have Officer Casey please come to the podium? Do we have Milo here? And we have Milo in the back. So, Milo, you may not know this, but it's Officer Casey's birthday today. And if you would lead us, Milo, in a little happy birthday before we begin for the officer. Day to...
Turning off my mic.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, officer. And thank you, Milo, our in-house opera star. And at this time, I'd like to thank the trustees for joining us tonight. I appreciate it. And tell the people in the audience as well as at home that the video of this meeting will be broadcast live, will be available on YouTube and available on Facebook and posted to the village website. At this time, I would ask Clerk Saladino to lead us or call the roll.
Trustee Augustine?
Here.
Trustee Gale?
Here.
Trustee Katinik?
Here.
Trustee McGee?
Here.
Trustee O'Brien?
Here.
Trustee Peterson?
Here.
President Kugler?
Here. And thank you, everyone, for attending. We are going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance, and we're going to have Phil, I believe, from Helping Hands lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. And while Phil is coming up, I want to take the opportunity to briefly discuss Helping Hands, a great organization in Lagrange. Helping Hands works tirelessly to transform the lives through genuine care and education. Helping Hands staff, families, and community partners help the residents or members grow through connections so they can help people with intellectual and developmental disabilities continue to expand their skills, make long-lasting relationships, reach the goals they set for themselves. Helping Hands genuine staff work with students, clients, and their families side by side to develop and attain goals that help them reach the sky. Their families stand with them during challenging times, as seen in this past year with COVID. And our community gets involved through events, partnerships, and other projects. Helping Hands has 5 homes in Lagrange, with many residents like our special guest, Phil Meyer, who's going to lead us with the pledge. Many of you will recognize from Phil, he's an avid bike rider, rides around everywhere in our community, and he also likes Palmer Place. Phil is joining Helping Hands President and CEO Bill Dwyer today, and VP of Advancement Erica Favrick. So many of you know Clerk Saladino is currently on the board of Helping Hands, and we appreciate all of his community involvement. So with that, if we could stand and lead us in the pledge, please.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I have been at Helping Hand. I started it in 1964 when it was a red house. And then I've been going there ever since. And what's more, I've learned to cane chairs. And the guy was an old man. And he lived right here in Lagrange Park. And then he taught other people to cane chairs too. And I haven't lately, but I've done a lot of them, plus that money that I worked for caning got me on trips and so forth.
Awesome.
So, this is my first time to be here on a place like this. I didn't know this was going to happen, but I'll tell you, you never know what's going to happen in the future. But I can tell you one thing. Right now, let's all stand, put our hands on our chest, face a flag, while I give the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And I thank you all for coming tonight.
Thank you, Phil.
Yeah.
And now Bill Dwyer, CEO and President of Helping Hand.
Well, it all started when I was 6 years old. No, I'm sorry. Phil just makes us all say that when we get started. Hello, everyone. Thank you for letting us come here and present to you all. Helping Hand has been around for 65 years, over 65 years, and Lagrange has been a great partner in all that time. Just to give you a quick view of who we are, we have a school for children with autism. So that's how we were founded, actually, is a school on children with autism. It's about 60 children that we work with from first grade all the way to 22 years old. And we work with about 20 to 30 different school districts to help place kids that are more severe with their special ed needs. We also have residential homes. As you heard, we have quite a few in Lagrange. And we think about water all the time, too, when we're in Lagrange. That's a big deal to us, too, to make sure that we are not flooding and the water's doing what it's supposed to do. We have a day program that serves over 250 people that helps them find jobs in the community and also find new purpose and their essence of who they are. The final piece is employment. We want people with disabilities to be working in the community, and you'll be surprised at how well they can actually do that. We've been in the community here. We've done the pet parade. We got our barrel, our water rain barrel. We bought our barrel so we can get that going. We were in the West End Art Festival. Quite a few of our clients have actually won awards. They get paid for their job. We have 2 art studios because we actually train people to be professional artists. We have our gala that's coming up April 29th. That's one of our largest fundraisers where you get to actually feel the mission and the vision. And our final piece that what we're trying to accomplish is we have a clinical outpatient. And that helps people with speech, physical therapy, occupational, behavioral therapy, and most importantly, mental health. Mental health, as you all probably have talked about many times, is very important to people with disabilities, but not just the client, but the parents, the siblings, and the marriage itself. And so we do a lot of work with the families to keep the family together and work through the tough times. Before I leave, the one thing I want you to remember is people with disabilities should be equally valued in all communities. Just like Phil, when he's riding through and being with everybody, and I've talked to a few people that Phil has been part of their lives here. It's more than inclusion. Inclusion means that you're glad that they were right there with you, but equally valued means you're going to be missed. If the village president was not here, we would miss him. We had a giggle over here. It was not me. But we would miss you, and it's not just, oh, we better have him here. And that's what I want you to think about people with disabilities. They bring value to our lives. And in the long run, I promise you, much like they did with me, they will transform your life. Thank you for giving us this time. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you very much, and I think that's well said, and I hadn't heard that, but more than inclusion, equal value, and I think that's wonderful. Thank you. Moving on, we have tonight the public hearing for the 2022-2023 operating and capital improvements budget. The public hearing tonight represents the conclusion of a 6-month-long budget development process. The process began in November of 2021 with a pre-budget development workshop that included pension funding and consideration of the preliminary property tax levy, adoption of the final 2021 property tax levy in December, a workshop to discuss capital projects in February, and a workshop to discuss operating budgets on March 12th of 2022. The budget's a living document. Consequently, residents are invited to comment on village revenues, expenditures, fiscal policies at any time during the year. Moving on, the budget will not be considered, though, tonight, but will be considered for adoption at the April 25th meeting. People will be invited to comment at this meeting, as well to email us for the next 2 weeks or come to the April 25th meeting. The notice of the public hearing has been posted and published according to state statute. Copies of the proposed budget document have been available for inspection at the Village Hall, the Lagrange Public Library, and posted on the village website since March 6th. At this time, I would ask if anyone in the audience has any comments regarding the fiscal year 2022-23 operating and capital improvements budget. With no comments, the village budget public hearing is closed. And again, we will be taking this up for vote on August 25th, on April 25th, 2022. Thank you. At this time, we'll resume our regular board meeting with the trustees all continuing to be present. And again, with the happy announcements, I want to announce that April 29th, 2022 is Arbor Day. Lagrange has been a very strong supporter of Arbor Day and tree planting since its founding by Franklin Cossett. For the past 4 decades, we've also been awarded Tree City USA by the National Arbor Day. Specifically, this will be the 40th year when we received the award. We've also received for the last 8 years Tree City USA Growth Award for Outstanding Forestry Management Practices. The official observance of Arbor Day is one of the criteria for qualification in Tree City USA. This year, Arbor Day will be celebrated with the students from Spring Avenue Elementary School. A tree will be planted on the grounds of the school as part of the celebration. And again, that will take place on April 29th. Do we know what time yet?
We don't have the information yet.
We'll try to get the information out. We'll definitely talk about it at the next meeting on April 25th, but it will be outside, and we'll invite everybody that can make it to come and celebrate Arbor Day at Spring Avenue School. Moving on, in other great, fantastic news, we have the, sorry, I jumped ahead. We need to have a proclamation for Arbor Day read into the record and then voted upon. So I would ask Clerk Saladino to read the proclamation.
Village of Lagrange Proclamation, Arbor Day in Lagrange, Friday, April 29th, 2022. Whereas the Village of Lagrange is characterized by its stately and tree-lined streets, and whereas the village makes a continual effort to preserve the aesthetic beauty and environmental benefit by appropriate urban forestry planning and reforestation. And whereas the forestry and tree planting program will continue to be integral parts of the services the Village of Lagrange provides to its residents, businesses, and schools. And whereas the Village of Lagrange recognizes the interest in and desire for a healthy urban forest from the entire community. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Village of Lagrange does hereby proclaim Friday, April 29th, 2022 as its official Arbor Day observation. And therefore, be it further resolved that Arbor Day shall be marked with an Arbor Day tree planting ceremony on Friday, April 29th, 2022 at Spring Avenue Elementary School in recognition of the students' efforts to improve our urban forest.
Thank you, Clerk Cyril Ladino. And can I have a motion for that ordinance?
Move we accept the proclamation as presented.
Thank you. And the proclamation probably better said. And maybe a second.
A second.
Thank you, trustees. All in favor, unless there's a discussion? I think we can do a voice vote. All in favor of the proclamation?
Aye.
Thank you, and that passes unanimously. Moving on to other exciting news. It's my absolute pleasure to introduce Parker Henderson and give you a little bit of background, and then Parker is going to be sworn in as our most recent police officer. On December 15th of 2021, the Lagrange Board of Fire and Police Commissioners appointed Parker Henderson to the position of probationary police officer to fill one of our vacancies. Parker obtained his Bachelor of Arts degree from St. Ambrose University in 2021, and he was most recently employed as an intern with Mercia ARB VP Finance and Operations. Parker just graduated from the Suburban Law Enforcement Academy at the College of DuPage in Glen Ellen on April 8th. The academy training is 14 weeks in duration. Parker is now starting the first phase of an additional 12 weeks of field training with a specially trained police officer within the Lagrange Police Department. We as the village are pleased to present Parker Henderson to the board, and at this time I invite Parker to step forward so that the village clerk, Paul Saladino, can administer the oath of office. And Parker, if you have somebody that's going to pin the star on you or shield on you, they can come up also.
Okay. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Parker Henderson,
I, Parker Henderson,
having been appointed
to
the office of police officer
the office of police officer
in the village of Lagrange,
in the village of Lagrange,
in the county of Cook,
in the county of Cook,
do solemnly swear that I will support
the
Constitution of the United States
Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge
the
duties of the office
of police officer
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
For the people at home, Officer Henderson is joined by many proud family and friends. We appreciate you coming out and supporting Officer Henderson. We appreciate the parents, the siblings, friends that are here. We do believe that all the employees are family. We understand the sacrifices that our first responders make every day. We truly appreciate it. Thank you so much for serving. Then last, but obviously not least, flooding. As we try to discuss almost every meeting, flooding remains one of the priorities or top priorities for the village. In the last 2 weeks since our last meeting, I had the opportunity to meet with Burke Engineering as well as MWRD in a joint meeting, again, to talk about any alternatives that are available both inside and outside of the village. The number one issue is where can we put an outflow for the storm water? It's a true challenge. It's a challenge that we're continuing to investigate and continuing to work towards. The second biggest challenge is the inflow. What can we do to stop or limit the inflow coming into town? Again, the engineers and MWRD want to work with us in figuring out the best solution for that, and we'll continue to work with them. We're less than 100 days away from the litigation against the quarry. That date is July 18th. Again, we expect it to go as scheduled. Our attorneys did inquire as to whether the quarry had any interest in trying to come to a resolution prior to the trial, and it doesn't appear that the quarry is interested. And we are ready for trial, and we will be proceeding to trial. So that part is going to hopefully proceed, again, with less than 100 days. So we'll be giving a countdown now until the trial date. On yesterday, it was a beautiful afternoon. I had the opportunity to walk in the neighborhood with Cook County Commissioner Frank Aguilar. He again spoke to many of the residents, asked them what their concerns were, and flooding was truly on the top of so many lists. He hears it. He's assured them that he is taking that back to the Cook County Board. And he is working to secure funding, and that is our goal, is to get Cook County to participate in this regional problem, and we hope to have good news coming on that front. So thank you again for all your suggestions, the emails. We do receive them, we do appreciate them, and we're continuing to treat it as priority number one. And with that, I would ask, I have a whole list more. I will move on. And I apologize because it's good, more good news, and that is I want to recognize LTAC. It's my pleasure to recognize and congratulate the Lyons Township Area Communications Center, that's LTAC, for their 5-year anniversary. LTAC is our consolidated center. We work with Lagrange Park, Western Springs, and the recent addition to Countryside to share the costs. That allows us not only cost savings, but a much more ability to get technology. So we have a much better operation since it's the 4 villages rather than each individual trying to do it on their own. This week's National Public Safety Telecommunication Week, and we express our gratitude and appreciation to our telecommunicators and all of our public safety professionals. So thanks very much to LTAC. This is also the time where terms are expiring for our boards and commissions. So I would welcome anyone in the community that would like to volunteer for a board or commission. Please email me or Village Manager Peterson, and we'd be happy to see if there's an appropriate commission that suits both your needs and talents. We're also reappointing many of the people that have served and want to continue to serve. I thank all the members of our boards and commissions. It's really what makes Lagrange such a great and unique village is the amount of residents that we have willing and really eager to volunteer, and it's fantastic. Earth Day is April 22nd, and on Sunday, April 24th, the Lagrange Business Association and the Park District of Lagrange will feature drop-in wellness workouts with Perks for the Planet in Gordon Park from 8 to 11. The village's Environmental Quality Control Commission will also be participating with the environmental education and ways to live a more sustainable lifestyle. Free tree saplings will be distributed while supplies last, and old workout gear will be collected for recycling. Green initiatives are also the focus of both the village and LGBA this year as part of the Summer of Sustainability, including decorated rain barrels as the Downtown Summer Art Project webpage. And we have Nancy Cummings here. Do you want to mention anything or highlight or tell me that I missed anything? Well, again, we appreciate that. It's great. We have tree saplings that we can talk about, right? As Arbor Day is approaching, we have the Environmental Quality Control Commission getting involved. I want to also, again, speak about something that the Environmental Quality Commission has been working on, and that is a recommendation to the village board. I believe it's going to be up at next meeting. Is that correct? At next meeting, for a cost share program for the overhead sewers and backup valves. So we expect that will be given to the board to be voted on in 2 weeks. The plan as currently designed will be that the village would be participating in paying for approximately 50% of the costs for select residents that want to engage in that in an effort to stop some of the flooding. Trustee Kretinek and Trustee Augustine, acting as liquor commissioners, and myself met with a new restaurant, Le Monde Kitchen, that is going to open at 19 West Callender Avenue. The Liquor Commission will be recommending the creation of an additional A2 license to be issued to the restaurant, and that will be occurring on April 25th. Again, it will be a Chinese restaurant. They have a location currently in the Bridgeport area. It does really well. And they're also affiliated with the Doki Ramen Noodle Shop that's been in Lagrange for about 4 years. We're excited that they want to continue their investment in Lagrange and double their investment. And so it's exciting news, and we look forward to having that liquor license at the next board meeting. With that said, I would ask if there's a village manager report.
Thank you, President Kukler. Public Works began its annual hydrant flushing program and is expected to complete the work by the end of May. Crews plan to flush hydrants both during the day and night, Monday through Friday, depending on the location of the hydrant, traffic patterns, and other factors. The purpose of the hydrant flushing is to purge sediment which has accumulated on the bottom of the water mains and to exercise valves to ensure their proper operation. Signs will be posted on streets notifying residents where crews will be working in advance of the flushing activities. Immediately following the flushing of your nearest hydrant, you may notice temporarily discolored water, which is due to the flushed iron and mineral sediments. While the water is safe, we recommend that you run your cold water faucet several minutes to draw in clear water prior to doing your laundry. The village's water quality meets all the standards established by regulatory agencies, and for more information, please visit the village's website. The Drug Enforcement Administration is coordinating a national effort to collect unwanted, unused, and expired medications on Saturday, April 30th from 10 to 2 p.m. The Lagrange Police Department will serve as a regional drop-off facility, and the public may bring accumulated, unwanted, or expired medicines for safe destruction at the police department, located at 304 West Burlington Avenue. A list of acceptable and unacceptable items is available on the village website. The Lagrange Police Department also has a permanent drug disposal box if you can't make it on the 30th, for the collection as well. The lobby is open to the public at any time. For more information, please visit the DEA, www.dea.gov, or contact the Lagrange Police Department. Finally, a sewer repair and lining project began last week on Lagrange Road between Burlington Avenue and Harris Avenue. The work consists of replacing, repairing, and lining underground sewer piping and restoration of concrete following the excavations. The work is primarily occurring overnight and is anticipated to be completed by the end of this week, weather permitting. As part of the work, temporary lane closures and a closure of the entrance to the alley between Callender Avenue and Harris Avenue will be required. Sidewalk and access to businesses will be provided throughout the project. Please obey construction signage and drive and walk carefully through the work areas. For more information, please visit the village's website. Thank you.
Thank you, Manager Peterson. At this time, I would ask Clerk Saladino to read the items on the consent agenda and under current business.
Consent agenda and vote. Matters on the consent agenda will be considered by a single motion and vote because they've already been considered fully by the board at a previous meeting or have been determined to be of a routine nature. Any member of the Board of Trustees may request that an item be moved from the consent agenda to the current business for separate consideration. Item A, award of contract, 2022 lane marking program. Item B, agreement, IEPA project plan for lead service line replacement, engineering task order. Item C, contract amendment, 2021 sewer repair and lining program, change order number 2. Resolution, item D, resolution, Illinois Housing Development Authority grant acceptance. Item E, resolution, request to close Lagrange Road, Lagrange Pet Parade. Item F, ordinance, disposal of surplus property, police department. Item G, minutes of the Village of Lagrange Board of Trustees special meeting, Saturday, March 12th, 2022. Item H, minutes of the Village of Lagrange Board of Trustees regular meeting, Monday, March 14th, 2022. Item I, consolidated voucher 220328. Item J, consolidated voucher 220411. Current business. This agenda item includes consideration of matters being presented to the Board of Trustees for action. Item A, special event, Lagrange Business Association Carnival.
Thank you, Clerk Saladino. And at this time, I would ask if anybody in the audience would like to comment on matters that are on our agenda. Seeing none, I would ask if there is a motion and a second.
Make a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second.
And thank you. And are there any trustee comments?
Thank you, President Kukler. As previously stated, I recuse myself from voting on any agenda items related to our village prosecutor. That's it.
Thank you, Trustee Augustine. Any other comments? I would just like to add under E, the resolution for the pet parade. This week, I got a nice letter and a picture from a young resident, Nora Episcopo. And Nora is advocating very articulately to allow horses in our backyards of Lagrange because she loves horses and thinks they would be great pets and knows that her parents have room for them. And I think that's a wonderful idea, but maybe we should start with Pet Parade and have some horses in the Pet Parade. So we'll be working hard with the Pet Parade Committee to seeing if we can't get some horses to come so that Nora can see some horses up close. With that, I would ask, did we have a motion? We did. I would ask for a roll call vote on the consent agenda.
Trustee Peterson?
Aye.
Trustee O'Brien?
Aye.
Trustee McGee?
Aye.
Trustee Kutinik?
Aye.
Trustee Gale.
Aye.
Trustee Augustine.
Aye.
And the consent agenda passes unanimously. Moving on to current business, I would ask Trustee Augustine to introduce our one item.
Thank you again, President Kukler. It's been a long winter, and I'm not sure spring really feels like it's here yet, although today was fairly nice. And yet, shouldn't surprise me to learn that we are 6 weeks away from our village carnival. I'm very excited about that. My son is more excited. And we're excited about that and the pet parade this year, sharing the same date once again. Tonight, we will hear, if we have questions, from the Lagrange Business Association, as they have presented a request for approval of their annual carnival, which is scheduled to commence June 3rd. The carnival, as in the past, is conducted to be held the weekend of the pet parade, June 3rd through June 5th. Consistent with past years, the carnival will be held on Harris Avenue between Lagrange Road and Ashland Avenue, and include the use of village parking lots 3, 4, and 8 located along Harris Avenue. Proposed hours of operation are the same as in prior years: Friday 5 to 10, Saturday 12 to 10 p.m., Sunday 12 to 9 p.m. The Lagrange Business Association is also requesting the use of village parking lots 3, 4, and 8 located along Harris Avenue. Rides, food tents, and live music will be placed in the lots to provide an enhanced weekend experience. As was the case last year, the LGBA is not proposing any alcohol sale or service within the event area. Staff has reviewed this request and recommends approval of this for the Lagrange Business Association Carnival, subject to the following conditions, of course. 1, that all licenses, permits, hold harmless, and insurance coverages be obtained to the satisfaction of the village. 2, the LGBA representatives notify all affected businesses of the pending event no less than 2 weeks prior to setup. 3, that the carnival setup crew will leave an approximate 10-foot travel lane along the south parking lane of Harris and the west side of Madison Avenue open for Thursday, June 2nd, Friday, June 3rd, and to allow for pickup and drop-off of children during the school hours. 4, that the organizers schedule a pre-carnival meeting and maintain contact with staff of all related departments in the village to determine specifics of operation and setup of event. That, number 5, that the village maintain final approval of site, security, parking, and utility plans. 6, that the event organizers coordinate refuse, recycling, and other amenities with the village prior to the event. And 7, that costs incurred by the village are billed to the Lagrange Business Association. If we concur that this request is that the village board gets approval, we will include the temporary closure of Harris Avenue from Lagrange Road to Ashland Avenue, waiving restrictions on the outdoor displays and sale of goods and services in the C1 zoning district, and approving carnival rides as a temporary use. As always, the Lagrange Business Association does an amazing job with this event and all of their events. So I would move to recommend that the Lagrange Business Association Carnival be approved as described herein, subject to the above conditions.
Second.
Thank you. Thank you, Trustee Augustine. And thank you, Trustee Gale. Any questions, comments, discussion on that? Trustee Kotinik.
Thank you, Mr. President. Actually, maybe this is for Nancy. I noticed the LGBA is not proposing alcohol sales. I think in the past we did allow that, and it sounds like last year maybe it was COVID related. Any reason why we're not allowing that again this year? So will people be able to go into restaurants, and didn't they have like to-go options in the past? I'm just thinking as a parent, you got kids running around there for a couple hours. Cold beer on a nice June afternoon sounds good. Are they allowed to transport alcohol in the area? I think it would help sales for the restaurants as well. I mean, it's just an idea, so.
Great idea, Trustee Kotinik. So we'll have staff look at if that's allowed by law. We'd obviously at the village be supportive of it. Thank you. And any other comments, questions? Seeing none, I'd have a roll call vote for that.
Trustee O'Brien?
Aye.
Trustee McGee?
Aye.
Trustee Gale?
Aye.
Trustee Kotinik?
Aye.
Trustee Augustine?
Aye.
Trustee Peterson?
Aye.
And that passes unanimously. We appreciate all the efforts from the LGBA. We appreciate that Nancy's guaranteeing sunny skies like last year, and all good. So I think it was record turnout last year. We're hoping for the same. So everyone, please come and support the carnival. It's a great, great event for the community, great fundraiser, and thanks. I did want to recognize in our audience, we have Dennis DeBrose and Elisa Bankowski from Baxter and Woodman. They're here to, because of the engineering issues on the agenda. We appreciate you coming out. If any residents have any questions for Baxter and Woodman after the meeting, I'm sure they'd be happy to answer any of those. Thank you very much. I'd also like to thank Flood Brothers. We've had our spring cleanup for north of 47th on today's garbage pickup. And I know that I had a lot of things leave my house and people from the community or neighboring communities picked up, and one large couch that was picked up by Flood Brothers. So I appreciate that. As I was walking home from the train today, I noticed all the piles were gone. So that's wonderful. And I know that the people north of 47th will have the opportunity on Thursday. So please take advantage. And it's a great way to allow other people to reuse the material, and whatever can't be reused then gets properly disposed of if recycling is possible. I know Flood Brothers has a priority with doing that. So with that, I would ask if the public has any comments on matters not on the agenda. And we do. Man, please come up.
Hello, everybody. I think you know me, but I'm Becky Lorenzen, and I live here in Lagrange, and I'm from the Community Diversity Group. And I just wanted to bring to your attention a couple of events having to do with diversity. It was also wonderful to see the helping hand people and the acceptance and valuing of their diversity. There's a League of Women Voters Zoom call coming up on Thursday, April 21st from 7 to 8:30. And the content of the call is the achievement gap with the schools. What are the schools doing? What are their challenges? And what are they doing to overcome those challenges? So it's not a pretty flyer, but I will get that to key people so that you can circulate that and sign up if you are available to attend that. There's going to be representatives of District 102 Park and the feeder schools, as well as 105, which I think is Gurry and the feeder schools, and LT, which all have diversity efforts underway. The second thing I wanted to mention, if you haven't heard of already, we are partnering with various organizations here in Lagrange and surrounding communities to have a second annual, we called it Anti-Racism Conference last year. This year, it's going to be building communities. We're focusing on the positive and how we can learn from each other's stories. That's going to be held at LT from 9 to 1 on Saturday, April 30th, so last day of April. And they are working on a flyer with a link to register, which I will get to you as soon as it's available. Thank you very much.
Becky, thank you very much. And It's exciting that the meetings can now be held live. I know last year we participated via Zoom, so it's wonderful that we're able to do that live. Thank you for the Race Diversity Group and for all their hard work. It is appreciated, and thank you very much. Not seeing any other public comments, I would ask if there's any trustee comments. Seeing no trustee comments, I would ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion carries at 8:18. Thank you, everyone.